So, as you guys know, all of the leaders for OPO3 have been revealed, and I already talked about how Porcus the Ace is going to be my main deck of OPO3, and Nami's definitely caught my attention with the reveal of Zeph, but I also mentioned that out of all the leaders that were shown, other than Ace, on first glance, the only other one that piqued my interest was Rob Lucci. And in today's video, I want to break down my Rob Lucci wish list. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and talk about Rob Lucci's stats first before we dive into all of the things that I'm wishing and really hoping for. So he's 5,000 power with 5 life, standard across the board with all leaders except for Whitebeard. And what he does is on your turn, once per turn, you could discard 2 cards from your hand, and if you KO one of your opponent's cards, you can then restand him. Having the ability to attack twice is something that's very strong. I mean, take a look at Useless Captain Kidd. He's a deck that is a force to be reckoned with purely because you always have to deal about the threat of his double attack, whether it's swinging into the enemy or potentially just controlling the board. It's just an overall very strong ability to have. The first thing on my wish list is something that I think is much needed in Black, and that is an event card to kill things without having to actually discard a card. So think of Jet Pistol, but Black. So we all know what Jet Pistol does, right? It allows you to KO anything that's 6,000 power or less with no interaction. You activate Jet Pistol, you blow up something on the field that's 6,000 power or less. Well, what if Black has a version of that? It's still 4 Dawn in order to play it, and you can just KO anything that's a cost of 6 or less. Now, of course, I know that there's a lot of other cards in Black that can already do a lot of KOing based on cost, but if you take a look at every single card in the game right now, at least that we have in OPO1 as well as OPO2, every single character that has 6,000 power or less, like base, just the base stats, are all 6 cost or lower. Literally every single one. So because of that, anything that this new Black card that I'm proposing can hit, Jet Pistol could also hit. So in terms of a balancing factor, I think it should be fine. With Jet Pistol, obviously it can be comboed with Otama in order to KO stuff. You could also combo it with Film Trafalgar Law, or not Film Trafalgar Law, the green one. I mean the one from the promo packs, the one you see on your screen. You could also use that to combo with Jet Pistol. So, of course, Black has other tools as well that can reduce cards' levels, and then you'll be able to go ahead and just KO it. Black already has a lot of tools to lower costs, so maybe it might be a little bit too oppressive. Think about the new promo Sengoku. On your turn, all of your opponent's characters get -2 to their cost. Without interacting, you just attach 1 Dawn, everything is -2 to its cost, and then all of a sudden, almost everything in the game could just be KO'd by that 4 cost. Now, of course, you have to invest 5 Dawn, and maybe that's not as broken because you're basically investing the same amount of Dawn in order to KO a 8 cost kid as you would with Otama Jet Pistol, right? Jet Pistol is 4, Otama is 1, so 1 plus 4 equals 5. If you look at Sengoku, he needs 1 Dawn attach. With this new Black event card, 1 plus 4 equals 5. So maybe that could be balanced. But then you look at another card like Secret Rare Kuzan, who on your opponent's turn, on your turn, all of your opponent's character get -5 to their cost. So literally, now you could just start blowing up 10 cost Kaidos with ease. So I don't know, but again, if you do get to that point of the game where you are able to Kuzan, where you are able to use this Black event card, maybe it is balanced, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I accurate on this? Do you think that this is something that can be accurately balanced? Do you think that this is something that can be used optimally, or do you think that it might be a little bit too strong? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And while I'm on this topic, it's a perfect segue to point number 2. I want to keep Lucci's cold-blooded killer theme. We all know Lucci's backstory, and we know that this guy has absolutely no chill when it comes to taking lives. I hope that Rob Lucci's theme stays to the core of being an absolute savage. We already see that he has the ability to restand when he kills someone, or rather when any of your characters kill one of your opponent's characters, but then also take a look at Bluno, who has an on-KO effect. So when Bluno gets KO'd, you could play up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less that has CP in its trait. It fits the theme perfectly of your character is being KO'd or you KOing your opponent's character. I hope that's a theme going forward. I hope every single effect is either on KO effect or it's when you KO your opponent's characters. I think that would be so awesome. Do you guys think that that theme will be something that Bandai decides to go for? Let me know in the comment section below. Real quick, before we talk about the last thing on my wish list, I want to talk about Bluno. He's very interesting because he specifically says a cost of 4 or less with CP in its type. So when you think about it, does that mean that we're going to have other CP agents in the game? We have CP9 that has CP in its type, but are we going to see other CP numbers? Who knows? I lead to believe yes, because if so, why would it specifically state that? Who do you guys want to see that's a part of the Cypher pool? So the last thing on my wish list is something that I think that all black decks need, but I think it'll be a good entry point for Rob Lucci to have it, and that is the ability to draw. Yes, drawing cards. It's as simple as that. When you think about black, there's so many cards that require you to discard a card. You have to discard a card for this, you have to discard a card for that. And quite frankly, you run out of steam very quickly. I feel like if Rob Lucci has a way to replenish cards in his hand, then he can actually be somewhat competitive. Because as it stands right now, having to discard 2 cards in order to restand, is that really going to be that valuable? You look at Eustace Kidd and he only has to pitch 1 card. So if Rob Lucci is pitching 2, then what makes it that much better? Do you know what I mean? And Eustace Kidd doesn't even need to have the requirements of KOing something. He could just attack, tap 3 Dawn, and attack again. And now, of course, you could say, like, you don't have to tap the 3 Dawn in order for Rob Lucci to attack again. But in my opinion, I would much rather have Eustace Kidd's ability just because I don't have to discard an extra card, which could be another counter. So that being said, if we're able to draw more cards with some type of black card, maybe a stage, I know I've been talking about stages lately, but we desperately need more stages in this game. If we are able to get an NS Lobby stage, it would be perfect. There's no better time to put an NS Lobby stage in the game than right now. We're getting CP cards, we have a Rob Lucci leader. When is the next best time for this to happen? So, if we're able to get a stage card that allows us to draw every turn, then that would be absolutely amazing. That is my wish. And heck, it doesn't even need to be a stage. I just want something that will allow the deck to have consistent draw. So, with that being said, those are my 3 main things that I want Rob Lucci to have once all the cards are revealed for OPO3. Is there anything specifically that I might have missed that maybe slipped my mind, or anything that you guys agree with? Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. With that being said, I am out, and remember guys, I will be co-commentating this weekend for the other tournament hosted by the other decks. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Links will be in the description. Do not miss it this Sunday. It is a box tournament. Stay tuned for that, and I'm out. Peace.